What's up, everybody? This is Peyton Anderson with Next Level Athletes. I am thrilled to have a great friend of mine on the podcast today, KJ Hunt. KJ has had a unique journey and not the typical kind of collegiate journey you would expect. This past season at the University of Denver, KJ was one of just 3 players in the Summer League to average at least 15 points, 4.4 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game. KJ, first of all, thanks so much for coming on today.
Appreciate you having me, Peyton. Nice to be back.
Yes, of course. Take me back to your high school days and your recruitment process. What was your experience like? What did you find most interesting? But what did you also find most difficult about it all?
So back in high school, I was kind of like I wouldn't say the star player, but I was the star player on the team, and it was just one of those ones where I was just developing my leadership skills. My coach put me in a role where I had never been before, as far as being a leader, being a distributor, and a scorer all at once. So I was just learning how to be a basketball player all in all, and I feel like it was the start of my journey. For the recruitment part of it all, I didn't have any offers coming out of high school. Well, I did have 2 NAIA offers, but I didn't play AAU. I didn't travel and play on the weekends, nor did I feel like I exposed my talent to a lot of coaches to get in front of people. So I felt like I was like one of those hidden gems in the state.
Yeah.
I took it upon myself, to just go prep school and see, to see if I can expand or expose myself to more coaches and things of that nature.
Of course. And back with high school, what would you say was your all-time favorite memory? And what do you just miss most just being in high school,
Okay, my favorite memory in high school was it was the Saline County Shootout. It's basically where our rival schools played against each other. We played against Benton. Up until my senior year, I had never beaten Benton before, and it was a real rivalry. Like low key, I ain't gonna say we didn't like the dudes, but I really that side of town just because I had never beaten them before, and they were always I feel like a little cocky. So we beat them in this thing we call Saline County Shootout, and it's like basically where we played them a second time, and it was like a championship where you get a trophy for whoever wins the game. We ended up beating them by 1. It was just an exciting moment. Just like I said, it was my second time beating them, but I had never beaten them up until my senior year. So it was just like one of those ones like, dang, I finally did it.
You can hold on that forever, too.
Man, it's just, and I still get a hard time, the big guys about it to this day. What you say, the most
What do you
memorable?
miss most about just being in high school in general?
Man, I miss the relationships. Man, just like the basketball team with my brothers, I didn't do anything except basketball my senior or the whole high school years. Like I didn't focus on anything else except for basketball in school, and I just built so many relationships with those guys just because like we went through so much stuff on the court together, bad, good, and we just went through it all together, and it was just one of them things. Like we have a group chat to this day where we all. So it was like their relationship and those guys, man. That's what I miss the most.
And let's start at junior college in Central Florida as your first stop. Simply put, what led you there in the first place? I guess I'll just ask that. What led you there in the first place? How did that happen?
So I had went to prep school after high school because I told you I had no offers, and Juco was one of those routes that I didn't want to go initially, but from the looks of it, I just needed an extra year or 2 to develop my skill, develop my body in nature. So I had went to a camp out in Memphis, Tennessee, set up by this dude named Calvin Rayford. That's a good friend of mine. And I got in front of a couple coaches, man. I want to say it was about 20 plus coaches in there. And it was one of the ones where we picked up, it was 5-on-5. And man, I just showed out. I was being a good teammate. I was knocking down shots and I was distributing the ball. And one of the coach there, Coach Jay Zender, he's the assistant head coach at the time. He seen me, man, and as soon as I got off the court the first game, he walked up to me and was like, man, like, I'd love to have you at CF. It's in Florida. Man, I know it's better than being down here in Tennessee, Arkansas. So, man, come out for a visit. And, man, and that's all I need to hear, But I did have another school, Lamar State, which is in Port Arthur, Texas. I took a visit there first. I love Port Arthur, Texas. I love Texas overall. But when I got to Florida, it just felt like home,
Yeah. How did that make you feel when you first got that offer or he came over to talk to you? What what's kind of going through your head after that?
It was magical, just from the standpoint that I feel like I was wanted. Actually, like I said, come with no offers, no any. Well, I didn't have anything that I feel like, I had earned anything, but I feel like, okay, this is just like the beginning, man. Like he really came up to me, walked up to me, I need you, and just to have to admit that feeling of being wanted, that's just magical,
Yeah, it gets. I mean, it makes you feel good. I can say
Yes, most definitely.
And in terms of the environment and atmosphere, junior college at Central Florida, what was that like? What kind of I mean, I guess simply just what was the environment and atmosphere like during your time there?
Man, honestly, it felt like spring break 24/7.
It's not complaining. No complaining.
Yeah, like it was always sunny. When it sometimes it'll rain daily.
It's raining where I am right now.
Yeah, man. When it rained, but like most of the palm trees, the sun, the weather, like it was just a good vibe. It was a good environment, and I can honestly say like my brothers that I played with, they helped make it that journey or that experience a little bit more easier. Like I said, like that was my first time being away from home.
Yeah.
I was far away from home. I was 12 hours away from home. So like I got homesick a little bit because it's like I said, first time being away, I'm away from my moms, my pops, my little brothers. So it's like, man, like how I'm gonna do it without them. But my brothers made it easy just helping me adjust. Like I had sophomores on that team that had already been through that stage a year, and they were just, giving me pointers to just how to cope with everything.
And speaking more about that, what about? I mean, I guess you kind of answered that about what intrigued you most about the program, but more importantly, since this was the first stop in your journey through college, what did you say you learned the most during that time? What do you miss most there? Favorite memory?
The thing I learned the most, man, that was the first place I can honestly say where never get too high and never get too low. That's one of the things I carry with me to this day. Like I just went through mentally and internally, I went through so much because I feel like I didn't live up to the expectations that I wanted to. You're so hard on yourself so many times, and when you don't live up to those expectations, man, you be hard on yourself, and you just you start to doubt yourself a little bit. And I just had to learn, like, man, like this is part of the process, like you're not gonna have a great day, you're not gonna have a great week every time you step on the court, every time you go to class, things of that nature. Like you're gonna have those days where you feel like, man, like what am I doing here? But the thing was to never get too high, never get too low. That was my most memorable. I mean, that was my teaching point that year. And my most memorable time, man, CF had so many, bro. I can't even tell you, like, bro, like, man, I'll say this. We played Eastern Florida at their spot. It's like our second time playing them. And Eastern Florida was like number 1 team, number 2 team in the state. And we were like number 4, number 5. So we kind of felt disrespected. So we come to their spot. We started off the game a little slow, but okay, we had the lead for like mostly the first half. Ended up going down like, I want to say like 15-16 the second half. And it was like 8 minutes to go. And bro, we stormed all the way back and beat them. So that was probably one of the most memorable ones because it's like, okay, y'all say y'all this top dog and we the underdog. So when we finally beat them, it was one of the ones like, okay, yeah, like we the ones.
You're valid, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man.
And next step in your collegiate career, you found yourself at McNeese State. First of all, what brought you there? What most intrigued you about the program?
Okay. It's funny, man. When I went to Juco, I'm a big relationship guy. So when I decide on where I want to go, it's always about the relationships. And the first person to ever like come up to me at Juco as a D1 coach was Coach John Aiken. And at the time he was at Nicholls State. So we had this thing called like the Juco Combine or I forget what, Juco Pro Day or whatever, where come to different sets of JUCOs in the country or in Florida, and they watch us practice and we scrimmaged. So we had this scrimmage, and man, we had about 10 to 15 coaches in there, and after we finished playing, man, I feel like I did what I was supposed to do, man. I was knocking down shots as always, man, just making plays for my teammates, things of that nature, rebounding the ball, and just being a high energy guy. Coach Aiken came up to me and he was like, man, you're a pro. And that's the first thing he told me, like, man, you're a pro. He was like, I don't even know what I'm doing talking to you right now. And I'm pretty sure you're going to have high major teams calling you out. And he was like, but, man, I just want to let you know that. And he was like, I'm up at Nickel State. He was like, man, I just love to have the time to just sit down, talk with you, man. Here's my number. Boom. Okay, so I talked to him and I talked to a couple more coaches. So I'm walking back to my spot. Like I haven't even got halfway to where I was supposed to my gym. To my home, because we right across the street from the gym. And Coach A calls me, bro. He's like, bro, I need you. And we sat on the phone for a good 45 minutes, man, just rapping, just talking about our life journey and what we wanted in life and what led up to this point. And when Coach Aiken called me and told me, like, the pro thing, like when you were a freshman in college, like when you hear somebody tell you that, like, you're like, oh man, for real, like, you get all types of ordeals. Go ahead. But when he sat down and talked to me for that 45 minutes, just right after meeting me, I was like, okay, man, I love this. I like how his intent is. So one thing led to another. By the end of the season, he ended up leaving Nickel State and going to McNeese State. And his boss, Coach T. Shroyer, he told his boss, T. Shroyer, like, man, like, this the kid that we need. And man, Coach Shroyer hit me up. The assistant coach DeBose hit me up, and Coach Courtney hit me up. The whole coaching staff hits me up, and just telling me, like, man, like, you're the one, like, we believe in you, man, and man, we'd love to have you here. And I went on a visit. I loved it, and history wrote itself, man.
And additionally, on top of this, what kind of atmosphere and environment did the program provide to you with your time there? How did it differ? Was it similar at all to Central Florida? I mean, just expand on that, I guess. Yeah.
It was most definitely an experience that helped me grow as a player and as a person, because I did not have I had a struggling year, shall I say. I had flashes of where I showed, like, man, like, this kid can be a great hooper, this kid can be a great player. But for the most part, I was still, like, adjusting to the D1 level. Like, it's a different level from D1 to Juco, or Juco to D1. So the game is played at a better pace, and it's more like, you can't just go out there and free ball. Like, it's real deal. Like, you gotta see things for what they are, and you just gotta play the game. It's like chess, not checkers, one of those things. So it's just like, I had to learn so much, and I was just so flabbergasted, because I feel like I was stoned. Like, it's just as if I was in stats class and I'm
everything thrown at you.
Yes, man. So it's like, bro, like, although, like, I was a good player, I still wasn't acclimated to that D1 level yet. So I was so much, but I showed flashes of being a great player. But it was one of the ones, like, man, like, I had to grow up, and I just understand, like, man, like, okay, boom, like, I got to see everything for what it is. I feel like that year at Juco really helped me just, like, develop, like, the pace for grown men and things of that nature. But it's a change of pace when it comes to D1 level. And McNeese just helped me show, like, okay, man, like, it's a change of pace. It's detail oriented more so than you just can't come out here and free ball like it's a real game plan to this madness, So that was, I learned there, just like, it was a change of pace. I got to learn how to change the pace, and I got to learn how to just listen and just play the game how it's supposed to be played.
And would you say that was what you learned and worked on most during your time there?
Yeah, man. My biggest thing they used to always work on me on was my change of pace and my change of direction, because I always just went one speed, bro. Like, else, like, if you know me, like, I'm a pretty quick guy, so whenever I used to come off screens, I'm going one speed. If I'm coming downhill, I'm coming down one speed. Like, I catch so many charges, bro. It didn't make no sense. It was just one of those ones, like, just I'm a learner through experience. So I had to go through those ebbs and flows to understand, like, man, like, okay, this is what I need to do.
And what would you say was your favorite memory at McNeese State?
My favorite memory. I can't say that I just have a favorite memory. Like I said, man, it was like a struggling year for me. But man, I'll say this though. Going there, or the summertime, me and my guys, we'll go kick it sometime. We went to a little pool party or whatever. After we went to the party, we all went to the house and played 2K. and I'm not a good 2K player at all. We all play 2K, and I mean, I came out on top. I won the most games out of everybody. I think I went like 5-2, and I was beating people I was. So that's probably my best memory that I remember. Just like I said, man, I struggled at McNeese. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to you.
Yeah.
But like I learned so much. It's not no knock to anybody at McNeese or anything like that. But it's one of the ones like, man, like if I can go back to that year, I wouldn't do anything over just because I learned so much through that adversity, you know.
Mm-hmm. And next up, Morehead State. You had to sit out the year before being able to play because of the NCAA transfer rules at the time. So first of all, I want to ask, what was the experience like for you not being able to play? But when reflecting back on that experience, what would you say was the biggest like aspect or thing you took away from that?
Man, I actually just talked about this on my IG page, bro. I needed that red shirt year. I just feel like it was the perfect timing for me because, like I said, man, I was struggling so much in McNeese, man. I was clouded with doubt. And, man, like, when I finally got to Morehead, it was one on ones like Coach was like, okay, like this your red shirt year, you can develop your body, your shot, you can just develop yourself as a player.
Mm-hmm.
And I got there, you know, I'm just trying to feel things out. I'm thinking like, okay, I hope I don't have another year like McNeese, but it was totally different because once I got there, the players there accepted me right away. Like first thing, we in the locker room just chilling. We sitting in the locker room right after workout, and we sitting there for about an hour just talking and laughing. And me, like I said, I'm a relationship guy, so when the first time we did that, I'm like, man, like these guys kind of cool. So as the year went on, man, I just treated that, even though I didn't play, I treated every practice as a game day.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my job to make sure these guys were prepared. So every day, man, I'm going at them. I'm putting in extra work, man. I'm making sure I'm trying to outwork everybody just from the standpoint, like I'm not playing, so why wouldn't I be in the gym more than anybody else? So it was one of the ones like I had to sit back. I just developed myself. I developed my mental, man. I was just so rejuvenated. I was refreshed emotionally, spiritually, mentally. It was just a time for me to just, okay, cool. And then I get to see like during the games, like, okay, cool. This what coach like. This what coach don't like. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
this how this play. This is how this read. So I just sat back and I just tried to be a student of the game. And they gave me an opportunity to sit back and be a student of the game. And I feel like I took what I learned from there. I mean, I learned that year and I applied it next year.
Of course. And speaking about that year, the season after that, though, you end up going to the NCAA tournament. What was that entire experience like for you? And what would you say you took away most from that experience alone?
Man, it's one of the ones like, it's like a fairy tale, honestly. Like even when I think about it right now, it's just like, dang, like I really did that.
Yeah.
Man, it's just, that's every kid dream is to go to that tournament, the March Madness tournament. That's the tournament that's broadcasted all over the ESPN or all these TV channels, and you just see it all on social media. So like,
that's how I reached out to you first, I think, too. After that, yeah, I think that was the first time, yeah.
Yeah, bro. It was just such a blessing, bro, because like not too many people are able to experience that. And coming from Little Rock, Arkansas, like the only teams that really make it to the NCAA tournament is the University of Arkansas. And like it's not too many kids that's from Little Rock or that's from Arkansas that's able to go to the University of Arkansas, Yeah. So just having Arkansas from Little Rock most definitely make it to that tournament, man. I had so many of my friends that I haven't spoken to in years watch their game. And when I came back after the game, I seen so many notifications of like people that they watching the game and tag. It was just such a humbling experience because like they was telling me like, man, like you really put on for the city, like you representing for those who wasn't
making people proud, yeah.
Yeah, man. So, and what I take away from that year, man, is just stay down till you come up. It's like it's all part of the process, man. Like I said, man, never get too high, never get too low because you're going to have some days that make the good days seem mediocre. So it was just one of those ones like, man, I'm so humble and blessed to have experienced this, man. So like, I try to use that experience and just try to teach guys like, man, like, it might not, your results might not show right away, but if you keep putting the work in, you stay down, man.
Strong, yeah.
Yeah, man, for sure.
And last thing on that, with your time at Morehead State, what would you say maybe was your favorite memory as well? But more importantly, what would you say you learned most about yourself and who you are both on the court and off the court going forward?
My favorite memory was the NCAA tournament.
Of
No,
course.
my memory was actually beating Belmont in the championship game. Because if you notice, we broke so many records last year. We had tied the school record for 12-game winning streaks. Man, we actually went to Belmont and they beat us, which ended our 12-game winning streak. We would have beat them, we would have been top, or we would have been number one. Mm-hmm. So they beat us at their place, and man, it was just such an intense game because it was like so much pressure on that game. So when we finally got them in the championship game, it was all business, bro. So, and that was my first time ever winning anything in basketball, bro. Like, I played football and I won a championship, but basketball is where I committed and was most passionate about. So when I finally got, man, it was just, bro, I still get butterflies thinking about it. And what I learned the most is about myself was like, man, like, I'm a warrior, honestly. Like, I just been through so much. Like I said, man, I took a different route from everybody, like from prep school to Juco, D1 to D1 to another D1. Like, not too many people doing that. And not too many people can say that they, like, if they were to do that, that they can stay mentally strong and locked in to overcome all the adversity that they, that's come with it. So just knowing that, man, I can overcome anything, that I'm a warrior, I feel like that's what I learned the most my years at Moorhead.
Of course. And last stop, the University of Denver. First of all, what ultimately led you to that decision? How did that come into reality?
So I felt as if, like I did when I was in high school, that I didn't just play the best of basketball in my college years. And I knew I was coming up on my last couple years of college. And I was like, man, I feel like I can do way better than 6 points and 3 assists every game. I feel like, I had to bet on myself and just try to go and have a career year somewhere else. And it was one of the ones I took a chance, and I took a chance on myself to be like, I can do that. And that's what I was going to do. So that's what made me transfer from Moorhead, just having a vision for myself and wanting to complete that vision, and I came across Coach Dub and Coach Zaywee, Coach Dunson, and Coach Rob, Coach Nick, everyone at the Denver University, and they believed in me just as much as I believed in me, and they invested in me as much as I invested in myself. So I just felt like, man, that's home, so why not, So that's me going to Denver University.
And share with us more about the environment and atmosphere at Denver, and what you feel they pride themselves on the most.
Denver itself, like Denver, the city is a fast city growing, like city life. Like, it's just so much to do, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful city, man. If you were to go to Denver and you just sit outside in the morning time before daybreak, and you just watch the sun rise, and you just see the mountains in the background and how the sun just kisses the mountains, bro. That's probably my favorite thing in Denver, just those mountains. Cause I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, but I got a little country in me, so I love the outdoors. I love the nature. So that was probably like, that was one of them ones I was like, okay, yeah, I like this. I love this because I'm an outdoorsy type. But I say Denver pride themselves in best being a tough, resilient city, a tough, resilient school. It was plenty of games. I'm pretty sure you watched a couple where,
I watched a lot of them. Yeah.
Yes, man. We were down so many points, and we always fought back. Like, that was in our DNA. We were some fighters, bro, and I feel like that's what we pride ourselves up in the most, was just to fight. Whenever we go out, it don't matter who in front of us, we just go out there and fight.
And additionally, what would you say led most to your breakout season this past year? I mean, you had several 20-plus point games. You even had a 30-piece. Just take me through. I mean, how did that happen? How do you make that happen?
Man, the work in the off season, in the summertime. Like I said, man, I knew what I wanted to do before I even got to Denver. Before I even heard about Denver, any of the things. Like, I knew it was gonna have to be a different type of off season and type of grind for me. So it didn't even start when I got to Denver. It started before I had entered the portal. And I just took every single day in the summertime and off season as serious as I could, man. I'm trying to be in the gym as much as I can, work on my craft, invest in myself. And I feel like all the things that just happened throughout the season was just a result of me just putting in the work. It wasn't just one thing that I did. Like, it was a consistent grind. And man, I just felt like me knowing what I wanted to do and what I wanted to accomplish, I knew that I had to do something different that I never did before. And I just took my grind up just up a notch. And that was just the results of it, man.
Of course. And what would you say you took away most from being at Denver and its program as a whole? And also, again, a favorite memory?
The thing that took away the most was don't be afraid to bet on yourself. Like I said, man, like I always felt like I didn't feel like I exposed or showed my true talent throughout my college years, even though I had flashes and still have like some great memories in college. I just feel like me individually as a person, as a player, I could have did way better. So, man, some people would be afraid to leave a championship team that played in the NCAA tournament and go somewhere else where the team was not as good or things. It was a smaller conference, but it was one of the things like, man, I bet on myself. I invested in myself, and I feel like anything could happen, you know? Mm-hmm. And I say my favorite moment, man, was probably my long 30 piece, bro. In my long college 30 piece. I've never had a 30 piece in college before. I actually had my career high was before I got to Denver was 19, and I had 19 once. I had 19 once, and it was crazy because I had never had 20 before. Mm-hmm. So when I got to Denver and I finally got like my first career high was, I think it was like 23. And after that, and I got the 30 piece, it was like, man, like, okay, I feel like I checked it off my list, man.
Yeah.
That was probably it right there for me.
Mm-hmm. And moving to life off the field or off the court, I saw you graduated, I think, last year from Morehead State. What did you graduate in regarding your major and why you chose that in the first place?
Okay, yeah, it was kind of funky, man. I graduated in general education, but what's crazy was when I was at McNeese State, I was in criminal justice. That was my major. But once I transferred, somehow, some way, my credits didn't transfer into Morehead. So they told me if I would graduate in criminal justice, I would have to set me back another year. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm not trying to do that. You know, I'm trying to graduate as fast as possible. So I was like, okay, what can I major in that'll help me graduate on time, which was general education because it was just general courses. So I went ahead and graduated in general education. It wasn't nothing spectacular and anything of that nature, but I most definitely say like it's great to have, or great that I feel like I stayed down and got me a bachelor's degree or a degree.
Of course. And we're talking about athletes wanting to take the next step to collegiate level sports, whatever their sport may be. There's a lot of distractions and there's a lot of things going on every day. For you personally, what would you say, what kind of advice would you give to athletes just in terms of like what kind of mentality they should have or their way of thinking that's best going to help them out when they get to college and just kind of best prepare them once they get to that level?
So most people are just like me when they first get to college. They're away from their parents or they're away from home and they get to a new place where college, like it's like you said, it's so many distractions, bro. Like you got parties, you got opposite sex, you got all these things like, and to an extent, man, I can understand. Like I struggle to stay focused at times.
Yeah.
But one of those things where you just have to learn as you grow. But if I had to give some experience, which I always try to tell guys, man, or girls, I tell them like, remember why you're there. Like you're not there because you want to go party every other weekend or you want to party every weekend. No, like you got a scholarship to play your sport. So that's why you're there. Don't forget why you're there. Like it's cool to have, don't get me wrong, but have fun the right way. You know, just don't go willy-nilly. Like stay focused, remember why you're there, and just have fun while you're at it because college is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Like you're developing your identity, you're developing yourself as you go through college. So it's one-on-ones, like I said, man. Remember why you're there and just stay focused on the task at hand. Know why you're there. You got a scholarship for sports. Stay focused on that sport and invest in yourself, man. Just don't get off, don't stay off course or don't get off course.
Mm-hmm. And let's talk about your biggest inspiration in life. Who, because I know everybody has their biggest supporters in life or their groups of people that mean the most to them. Who is that in your life for you? And if they were to be listening, what would you have to say to them?
My biggest inspiration, I'll say this. over the years, my pops was my biggest inspiration just because my pops he always told me the things that I need to hear and not the things that I wanted to hear. And as I grew to mature a little bit more, I realized like I aspired to be something because it's a dream that I had. So I always had the dream of playing pro and trying to play this game as long as possible. And I feel like to accomplish that dream and accomplish that goal, I got to remain focused on that goal in itself. So I feel like my goal and my dreams and aspirations of playing pro is my inspiration because it helps me remain focused on the task at hand. So like I said, man, I gotta miss out on some fun. I gotta sacrifice some things because I'm on a mission and I got a dream and that I want to. Yeah, so it's just one of those ones like, yeah, man, I say like I had to choose, man. Like my pops most definitely molded me and helped me grow this mindset, but my inspiration has been my dream. And just want to accomplish and take this to the next level, man. That's my inspiration overall.
Of course. And now that you've been through college and your whole process, what would you say have you matured the most in, or the biggest difference between current KJ to younger KJ?
My mindset is day and night. Like I said, man, like I still do, but I'm a better at controlling it. But wearing my emotions on my sleeve, just, I used to let just the slightest things get to me and affect me and how I work and how I just go about certain things. Now I understand it's a bigger scheme of things. So like I said, man, I know this is where I want to go. I can't let the things in between get in between what I want to do. So, man, that mindset, I have to grow my mindset to just like stay focused, man. Like I said, never get too high, never get too low, remain focused on the task at hand. And it's going to be ebbs and flows. Like you're going to have your bad days, you're going to have a bad week, but know that it's just part of the process, man. Like I went through so much turmoil, and it was one of those things. Like I'm just so grateful and humble that I went through it because those experiences helped grow me and mold me to who I am today. So my mindset most definitely is one of those ones.
And what have you been up to lately? I talked to Coben the other day. He talked about signing an agent. Just share with us what you've been up to lately and the agent thing.
Man, I just signed an agent because I wanted to go ahead and see, like I said, I want to play pro, and I just got the aspirations of playing this game as long as possible. So right now, I'm just chilling right now, just working on my craft each and every day, investing in my craft, and just trying to, develop myself to get on that pro level. I'm not doing anything different that I haven't been doing. It's more detail oriented now. It's more like, okay, like this is something I'm doing to not compete for a scholarship, but it's for a spot on a team or for a check. So this is my livelihood now. So that's why I treat it as like my profession. That's the only. I'm still doing the same thing. I up my grind just a little bit more, but those are things I've been on, just investing in my craft, man.
Of course. And last question, just expand on it again. What does KJ's future hold in store regarding the possibilities and opportunities that lie ahead of you?
Man, I can't say what's in store for me in the future, man, just because I can't tell that far ahead. But where I like, man, I love to be in the league somewhere. Like I said, I know everything, like stuff like it's 1,000, 200,000, it's hundreds of thousands of kids with the same mindset as me that want to do the same thing. So understanding understanding that and understanding like I gotta do something different than the next dude. So all I'm doing is, man, I'm just preparing myself. I'm investing in my craft. I'm investing in myself, my body, my mind, everything to help put me in a position where I want to be now or down the road. So like I said, I can't tell you where I'm gonna be a month from now, 2 months from now, but I know where I'm working towards right now. It's going to help me get to where I want to go.
Of course. Once again, KJ Hunt, former Denver Pioneers guard. KJ, we appreciate you coming on. Been wanting to do this for a while now. Done it. And wish you nothing but the best with your future, man. We'll stay in touch.
I appreciate that, baby.
Of course.